I'm Mimosa Ahmeti from the National Book Center of Tirana. I'm expert of book and also a PhD author in human rights. Today I will present a nice candidature we have chosen from Tirana for European Prize. It is entitled Lindur's Prapti, I'm Born in Verse, with author Rita Petrov. She has a brave approach in question of women, body, and its own rights. We hope that we succeed with European Prize. Have a nice day.
I'm Svetozar Želev, Director of the Bulgarian National Book Center and President of the jury for the nominating organization, the Bulgarian Book Association. I'm proud to announce, on behalf of the jury, the Bulgarian nomination for the European Union Prize for Literature 2024. And it is the Todor Todorov's amazing novel, Hagabua. The novel is a masterpiece of Bulgarian and European literature, with its roaring humanity, style, originality, extremely rich language, and an endless range of concepts and ideas. In time of wars, divisions and fractures, literature builds bridges and nurtures empathy, and a book like Hagabua does.
On behalf of the Danish Art Council, I, Dennis Gade Kofod, present the Danish winner of the European Literature Award, Theis Ørntoft, Jordisk. The novel is about one family, but also about another family, the biggest family of all, humanity, and everything we have created: capital, architecture, society, art. Over more than 600 pages and an action of 69 years, our closest history is unrolled so that it's not only crystal clear, but actually manage to tell a tale about profit and a world that, despite decay, also contains hope for the future. It wants much more than that, and actually managed to give the reader, through the lively characters, an insight into the limitation of the human gaze, regardless of how self-aware and self-critical we try to be. Earthly is not only European literature. The novel will not only speak to its immediate family. In many ways, it tries to live up to the ideals from the gold plate on Voyager 1, which must be understood by as many as possible, while at the same time the image of Earth and humanity is not simplified. Jordisk is a probe of literature sent out to anyone that can read.
My name is Christoph Bartmann. I am a literary critic. It is my pleasure to introduce the German nominee for this year's European Union Prize for Literature on the behalf of the German jury and the Goethe Institute as the nominating organization. The nominee is Dennis Utlu with his novel Vaters Meer, or Father's Sea. The jury was impressed by the way Utlu recounts in a personal and sensitive manner the story of a difficult father-son relationship. His father's illness and premature death have left the son with unanswered questions, which he now faces up to through a process of self-examination. Utlu imagines a conversation that had almost been impossible during his father's lifetime, partly because of illness, but also because of the cultural differences separating the Turkish-Arabic father from his German-Turkish son. By telling a personal story, Dennis Utlu also sheds a light on an important chapter in our culture, the Turkish immigration into Germany from the 1960s on. Utlu chooses the sea as a core metaphor. His father had traveled by boat from Istanbul to his job in Germany back in the day, and for the son it is water that has become the vehicle for his own poetical reflections. Father C is a touching, deep and tender novel which we highly recommend for this year's European Union Prize for Literature.
On behalf of the Hungarian National Jury, it is my pleasure to reveal the name of the laureate for Hungary of the European Union Prize for Literature, Pani Puskás. And the title of the book is Megmenteni bárkit, Saving Anyone. The story is about three women who are fighting for a better life, and the jury was impressed by the fact how sensitively the novel touches on current social issues. Pani Puskás has a strong and fresh female voice in contemporary Hungarian prose. She focuses on the here and now. I hope the international readership will also like the book.
My name is Bryndís Loftsdóttir and I'm here on behalf of the Icelandic Publishers Association. Sápufuglinn, or The Soap Bird by Maria Elisabeth Bragadóttir, consists of 3 short stories. On the surface, the narratives seem calm, but underneath they are boiling with trapped emotions due to the characters' lack of courage and inability to take charge of their own life. The prose is skillfully written, leaving the reader with a sense of discomfort.
Hello, my name is Ieva Melkalve and I'm representing the International Writers and Translators House in Latvia, and I was also the head of jury for choosing the most interesting, the best book to translate in European languages. And this year we chose the book Witches or Dragons by Diana Tabuna, because this book is absolutely wonderful to read, and it's funny and sad and very, very smart. And the main idea of the book is a youngish woman's journey in trying to understand the witchcraft, the modern witchcraft, and this journey is supplemented by her self-discovery in writing and in friendship and in her own family. And this book also, although the premise sounds that it could go badly, it doesn't. It is absolutely funny, it is very ironic, but it's never mocking, never mean, and the humor is very subtle, and the feminist influences in this are, I think, very well executed, because they are not overbearing, but incredibly empathetic of all women's struggles.
It is our pleasure to announce the EUPL laureate for Malta, the novel Ir-Re Borg by Alex Farrugia. The work, whose title translates into King Borg, is a satirical novel which is also a contemporary portrait of Malta's idiosyncrasies as the smallest member state of the European Union. The novel gives voice to a commoner amidst the clamour of super politicians who perform politics as a marketing and branding exercise. Upon its release in late 2022, it was described by Maltese critics as, I quote, a novel which is sorely needed. Through an accessible and unpretentious narrative, Farrugia manages to craft an engaging novel which does not, however, compromise its political sharpness. The upcoming European Parliament elections render the novel all the more urgent, since it depicts a scenario where core democratic values are sidelined in favour of political expedience. Through his critique of a political status quo allowed to turn to rot, Farrugia invites us to reflect on what it means to be a conscientious and active citizen. While never openly didactic in its approach, Ir-Re Borg invites the reader to reflect on the importance of values crucial to the EU project, namely human rights and dignity, equality, respect, tolerance, and the rule of law.
Hi, my name is Femme van den Berg and I am the coordinator of VLAM21, a collaboration between 16 literary festivals and organizations in the Netherlands. And I have the honor to announce the Dutch nominee for the European Union Prize for Literature. And that is Shole Rezazadeh with Ik ken een berg die op mij wacht, or There is a mountain waiting for me. It tells the story of Alma and the river Amstel in the Netherlands and Sarai and the river Aras in Iran. Both worlds are shown in a phenomenal way. Shole Rezazadeh managed to bring the poetic richness of the Persian language to Dutch literature. She reveals new worlds in her stories, and especially in current times, it is important that these stories be told. With There is a mountain waiting for me, she poetically shows that we should not distance ourselves from nature and especially not from each other. A message that should be read in many European countries and languages.
The Portuguese candidate for this year's EUPL was written by Gabriela Ruivo, a psychologist and a writer who is living and working in the UK. The book Lei da Gravidade, The Gravity Law, is a multiple narrative that tackles topics as old and as current as rape, domestic violence, race, abandonment, and identity. These are all long-term issues addressed in the story, which uses various characters united around the central axis of time. Time is the eternal question that sustains not so different individual answers to the same and everlasting problems, binding us together in this web that is life. In a direct and engaging style, this book concerns all European citizens, regardless of the language they speak.
It is my pleasure to announce Serbia's nominee for this year's European Literary Award, Bojan Krivokapić, and his novel Pheasant's Manor, a novel about an elderly woman who comes back after living in Germany for the majority of her life, escaping a childhood tragedy. As soon as she comes back to her home country, she starts reliving her childhood years and telling the readers at the same time as she's telling it to herself all the things that made her escape her youth and all the things that made her try to find the freedom somewhere abroad. This novel is divided into a number of unnamed and unnumbered fragments, so it can be read in several different ways. In addition to Anna, the main character, the novel features a range of supporting characters, starting with Svebor, her young friend who is an aspiring novelist and who tells the story of what it means to be an artist in modern Europe and modern Serbia. This novel is a novel of memory, a novel of reconciliation, and a novel that tells us that it is quite all right to try to seek freedom and companionship within ourselves.
Hi, I'm Katja Urbania and I'm from the Slovenian Book Agency. The agency is tasked with promoting Slovenian literature abroad, amongst many other things. Last year, we named a 3-member committee to choose our nominee for the EUPL. The members of that committee are Alenka Koron, Alenka Urh, and Andrej Predin. I'm now happy to say that Slovenia's nominee for the European Union Prize for Literature 2024 is Tina Vrščaj with her novel Na klancu. The committee was especially impressed with the strength, conviction, and determination with which this story is told. It's a family story told from the mother's point of view, and yet it is so much more than that. It encourages us to think about living authentically in today's world where digital communication is so important. It also forces us to think about how we act and how we can live more responsibly in the face of today's environmental crisis. As with many things, the novel suggests that we start with ourselves.
Mohamed Riyad Ben Abdelrazak, président de l'Union des éditeurs tunisiens. C'est un grand plaisir pour moi de révéler le nom de la lauréate tunisienne pour le prix de littérature de l'Union européenne. Il s'agit du roman Jabal al-Milh de Arbi Abraham. Le jury a été séduit par la prose poétique de ce roman, riche en images et en nuances, tissant avec finesse romance, drame et espoir. L'autrice partage son amour profond pour la Tunisie, pays qu'elle peint avec une grande révérence mélangeant adroitement réalité et fiction. Dans le sillage de la Révolution, la Tunisie est érigée en exemple de démocratie et de liberté. Face aux obstacles, le récit transmet un message d'espoir et de résilience, mettant en avant le combat pour les droits des femmes et la puissance de l'amour malgré les épreuves.